Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in a collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. So before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty and with commemorations of Viksit Bharat at 2047, we continue with today's commemorations. Before we start our commemorations, today we are commemorating International Stand Up to Bullying Day on February 28th, which is observed twice in a year in February and November. In February, it is on the last Friday of the month, while in November, the date takes place on the third Friday of the month. It will be next observed on February 28th, this day. And these observations in February are part of Anti-Bullying Week that aims to create empathy and end bullying and harassment. It's observed by schools, workplaces, and organizations in more than 25 countries. Bullying have lasting effects on a person's psyche, and it is important to recognize instances of bullying and put an end to them immediately. International Stand Up to Bullying Day emerged from the acts of two Nova Scotian 12th graders, Travis Price and Davis Shepard, stood up and protested when a fellow student was picked on for wearing a pink shirt. They bought 50 pink shirts at a discount store and emailed classmates asking them to wear the pink shirts, and they had bought the following day to create a sea of pink to support the bullied student. Many students wore the shirts while the rest came to school in their own pink clothes. Their act of creativity and kindness gained notice around the Canada, the United States of America, and other countries. By following year, International Stand Up to Bullying Day has gone viral in many countries across the world. So it is a semi-annual event that takes place in both February and November. The November event coincides with Anti-Bullying Week. Those participating in the day cite and wear pink pledge shirts to take a public stand against bullying. The shirts convey displeasure for bullying and extend support to the victims. It is a non-confrontational way to stand up against bullies. It first took place in February 2008 when 236 schools, workplaces, and organizations participated by wearing pink pledge shirts. Each participating school, workplace, or organization hosts its stand with aid provided by event coordinators. Organizers, such as Bully Help Initiatives, are committed to developing effective support structures for victims. So bullying is a serious issue in US and across the world. 1 in 5 students aged 12 to 18 has been bullied during the school year. Bullying makes students skip school. About 160,000 teens have been ditched school because of bullying. The major reported form of bullying is verbal harassment, which is most common at 79%, following by social harassment at 50%, physical bullying 29%, and cyberbullying 25%. Bullying can lead to poor scores. Bullied students rank lower in reading, mathematics, and science than their peers. Old students report bullying less. Only 39% of high schoolers notify an adult of bullying. So this is a day to take stand, is the best way to take a stand against bullying and harassment at your school, workplace, or organization. And it hopes to create spaces that are inclusive for everyone. No one feels left out or uncomfortable. So it imagines a future where no one is bullied and everyone gets along. It envisions a better future for all. Today is also commemorated as International Repetitive Strain Injury Awareness Day. It is observed every year on February 28 or February 29th if it is a leap year. So this year it takes place on February 28. The day is set aside to educate people about repetitive strain injuries. This day is celebrated by healthcare professionals and caretakers to help their patients prevent and recover from such injuries. Repetitive strain injuries are a type of injury that occurs when an organ is hurt due to constant movements and overuse. These type of injuries are common in sports persons and are not unlikely to be found in other people. With care and attention, such injuries can be recovered from and completely prevented. International Repetitive Strain Injury Awareness Day was founded by Catherine Fennech. She has always advocated for better workplace safety in Canada. She launched the first celebrations in 2000 and chose February 29th as the only non-repetitive day on the calendar. During non-leap years, International Repetitive Strain Injury Awareness Day is observed on February 28th. You can recognize repetitive strain injuries from symptoms. You often experience pain, stiffness, throbbing, tingling, weakness, and cramping in a particular body part. You are most likely to be suffering from repetitive strain injuries. Those who work in jobs where they repeat same motion several times a day are likely to suffer from a repetitive strain injury. Up to 2 million workers have been known to suffer from repetitive strain injuries in the US. In a year, people can recover from these injuries by taking time off from work and undergoing proper treatment. In many cases, workers suffering from repetitive strain injuries are eligible for medical benefits. However, this doesn't come cheap. In America, beneficiaries may have to bear the costs of up to $20 billion a year to help workers treat repetitive strain injuries. In most cases, repetitive strain injuries in the workplace are caused by poor structuring in the workplace. This means workers who do not take recommended breaks, sit on uncomfortable chairs, or work in uncomfortable postures are likely to suffer from repetitive strain injuries. Medical professionals believe that one should never ignore or aggravate repetitive stress injury. This results in long term consequences, and patients must seek medical help as soon as repetitive strain injuries are diagnosed. So, attend a seminar, lecture, or public health workshop to mark the occasion of International Repetitive Strain Injury Awareness Day. You can also ask your workplace to organize an awareness drive. To prevent repetitive strain injuries, check whether the ergonomics at your workplace are good. Ideally, the ergonomics should comply with helping in good posture and preventing injuries and strains. The best way to observe International Repetitive Strain Injury Awareness Day is by getting yourself checked. If you have been experiencing chronic pain, timely medical care is essential to healing such injuries. Spinal cord injuries are very common. Every 41 minutes in US, there is a case of spinal cord injury. Paralysis is more common than you would believe. 1 in 5 people suffers from paralysis in the US. Studies show that for every second an American gets injured, and for every 3 minutes, a person succumbs to death by a preventable injury. Studies reveal that because we use multiple muscles and tendons for activities, strains are more likely to occur. In fact, sports account for 7% of all spinal cord injuries. So, this day encourages a healthy lifestyle by promoting lifestyle practices that can heal and prevent repetitive stress injuries. This day allows to acknowledge the various causes of injury and how to avoid them. International Repetitive Strain Day can help patients and caretakers pool resources and lead each other to communities that help better understand complications and treatments for repetitive stress injuries. International Repetitive Strain Injury Awareness Day also promotes safer and healthier workplaces by ensuring that workplace devices are ergonomic and workers are given their recommended breaks. It encourages employers to take more care in ensuring a healthy and safe work environment for their employees. Today is also commemorated as Global Scouts Day. It is an annual celebration held on February 28th in Liverpool. It's a day that celebrates the maritime city's favorite local dish, scouse. Ask any scouser, as the Liverpudlians call themselves. Scouse is a beloved recipe passed down through generations. Today is also commemorated as Rare Disease Day. The February 28th is commemorated as Rare Disease Day with so many things going on the world around us. It is very easy to put off important things like health. That's why the last day of February, each year, we mark our calendars to bring awareness to rare diseases. An average of 1 in 20 people live with their rare disease at least once in their lifetime, few of which see any sign of cure. The goal of Rare Disease Day is to improve knowledge amongst the general public of rare diseases, which encouraging researchers and decision makers to address the needs of those living with rare diseases. Founded by the European Organization for Rare Diseases, the first Rare Disease Day was celebrated in 2008 on February 29. A rare date that happens only once every 4 years. Since then, Rare Disease Day has taken place on the last day of February. a month known for having rare number of days. The day is held to raise awareness for rare diseases and improve access to treatments and medical representation for individuals with rare diseases and their families. Treatment for many rare diseases is insufficient, as are the social networks to support individuals with rare diseases and their families. Individuals observing Rare Disease Day take part in walks and press conferences, organize fundraisers, write in message to government representatives, along with holding events, gatherings, and campaigns. The day also includes an open session of European Parliament specifically dedicated to discussing policy issues relating to rare diseases. The days leading to Rare Disease Day include other policy-related events in numerous locations, such as reception on the British Parliament, where policymakers meet the individuals with rare diseases to discuss issues such as equal access and availability of prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation. Each year since its beginning, there have been thousands of events stemming from races and walks to art exhibits and workshops. These events are held to bring attention to the policymakers and inspire change in the community. Historical monuments such as Colosseum and the Empire State Building have taken steps in spreading messages of solidarity on this day by lighting up with an iconic pink, blue, and green colors, providing hope for millions worldwide. A disease defined as rare when it affects fewer than 1 in 2,000 people. However, there are 300 million people living with one or more or over 6,000 identified rare diseases around the world. While the colors most used for Rare Disease Day are pink, blue, green, locally worn symbols may vary. A disease is a disorder of structure or function in a human, animal, or plant that is not a direct result of physical injury. So every year, thousands of events like this are organized around the world during the month of February to mark the occasion of Rare Disease Day. Patient organizations, healthcare professionals, researchers, policymakers, and other members of the rare disease community organize Rare Disease Day events. Find events near you or go to the website and start your own. Be part of the Rare Disease Day by sharing your story with others and sending a message of solidarity. So 1 in 10 people suffer from rare diseases in the US. 50% of those affected by rare diseases are children. Rare diseases affect over 300 million people worldwide. Half of rare diseases affecting people don't have a foundation or research support group. 95% of rare diseases lack an FDA-approved treatment. The majority of rare diseases have no found cure, and many go undiagnosed. By bringing awareness, we open up hearts and minds to the possibility of finding a cure. Significant advances in rare disease policy can be seen on a global scale throughout the years and has helped improve the quality of life for many around the world. Today is also commemorated as Andalusia Day in Spain, which is a special holiday in Spain that takes place on February 28th every year. This day serves to commemorate the referendum on the state Statute of Autonomy of Andalusia, which took place on February 28, 1980. This was when the Andalusian electorate voted for the statute that made Andalusia an autonomous community of Spain. This was a noteworthy event in the country. It helped So this was a noteworthy event in the century. It helped them get much closer to their governmental goals. The citizens of Andalusia are patriotic and happy to celebrate their nation's progress They incorporate their traditional culture into the national celebrations. Today is also commemorated as Car Keys and Small Change Day in US, which takes place on February 28th every year. As the name implies, the day is actually a celebration of a place where those seemingly unrelated items are stored. Pockets, the small opening or pouch that forms part of a person's clothing and is used to carry small items. This is necessary but often undervalued part of our clothes. Have been around much longer than you think and can be traced as far back as 3300 BC. Pockets were finally integrated into women's clothing during 1920s when female film stars began the trend of wearing masculine attire. As jeans became a trend in the latter part of the 20th century, pockets became even more prominent. These days, pockets aren't limited to trousers but form an integral part of shorts, jumpsuits, skirts, dresses, and they have become essential to some and an expression of style to others. Today is also commemorated as Floral Design Day in US, recognizes the art, history, and significance of floral designs. Thousands of years, floral design has been used in many forms across the world. The Floral Design Day was created with an idea to celebrate the wonderful art form of floral design and to honor the pioneer behind the growth and wide reach of floral arts in the world. Carl Rittner, the birthday of Rittner, 28th February 1914, is officially celebrated as a Floral Design Day in America every year. Today, floral design has grown as a multi-billion dollar industry that includes floral arrangements for special events, banquets, for weddings and holidays, and many, and the contribution of Rittner is appreciated by many. Thus, this day is all about honoring and celebrating the art, beauty, and grace of floral arrangements and those involved in developing this unique art form. Today is also commemorated as Linus Pauling Day in US. Scientist, health advocate, and peace activist. The list of achievements of this author and educator would be as long as a thesis. The Oregon-born chemical engineer is best known for his outstanding contributions to chemistry and biochemistry, particularly in eliminating the nature of chemical bonds, considered the father of micromolecular biology. Pauling won two Nobel Prizes in 1954 for chemistry and 1962 for leading efforts against weapons of mass destruction and the nuclear arms race. Oregon State University commemorates his achievements every year on February 28th, which is Pauling's birthday. Today is also commemorated as National Chocolate Shuffle Day. The chocolate shuffle is the height of French decadence and deliciousness. The dessert is often associated with momentous occasions, so it's only fitting that it has its own day to be celebrated. The French are synonymous with fancy, and just saying the phrase chocolate souffle makes us feel chic and continental. The chocolate souffle is more delicate than a chocolate cake, more sophisticated than a chocolate pudding, and more interesting than chocolate ice cream. Today is also commemorated as National Customized Wheel and Tire Day in US. Every February 28th, established with car lovers in mind. Car lovers put so much effort and money in ensuring their vehicles reflect their personalities and undeniable love for automobiles. This day honors them and pays homage to where tires come from and how they are developed after the years. And the inspiring future ahead, wheels and tires are one of the many elements that make up a car. You could even argue that they are most important ones apart from engine and the most expensive to maintain. There is also commemorated as National Essay Day in US. It is the birthday of Michael D. Montague, who was author of the first ever writing called Essays. This day encourages students to unleash their inner writers and compose essays on different topics. This lets them explore idea generation and writing freely and without stern academic guidelines and restrictions. An essay is usually a piece of writing used to put forth the author's argument on a specific topic. Essays, which are often classified as formal or informal, can be written on a wide range of themes for a variety of objectives. From beginning of the time until now, essays have been and will be of important literary value. There is also commemorated as National Pancake Day in US. A thin flat cake prepared with a batter made from flour, oil, and butter, and the pancake, its variations are found in almost every culture. In India, we call it as dosa also. So today is also commemorated as National Public Sleeping Day in US. Sleep escapes many people throughout the night, so if you need a little shut-eye day, even while in public, it's totally fine because it's National Public Sleeping Day on February 28. Almost one third of Americans are getting less than 6 hours of sleep per night, considering the recommended number of hours of sleep we should get each night is 8 hours. We are talking about some serious health sleep deprivation for a family or a fairly large percentage of people. While no one has claimed to be the founder of National Public Sleeping Day, whoever it was clearly onto something. Maybe they had seen so many of their fellow Americans asleep in public, they felt we all needed to give a free pass for just one day. If you want to be an over public sleeper, a sleeping bag will get the job done. If you are still a little uncomfortable about sleeping in public, you will want some sunglasses or a hat or a newspaper. Of course, you can always point this occasion to indulge in some public speaking, public sleeping, but in the event that you are at work and your boss walks in while your head is down, let the first word you say be sorry. So sneaking in some Z's during the day is linked to a long list of benefits like a better memory, reduced fatigue and improved mood, but that should be short naps. Avoid drinking caffeine and alcohol and stay away from nicotine as well. These things inhibit peaceful sleep by interfering with deep REM sleep to avoid before you get to sleep. Adding exercise into your daily routine promotes restful sleep. It's best to work out at least 5 to 6 hours before going to bed. Establishing a routine sleep cycle is one of the most important things that you can do to improve the quality of your sleep. Engaging in relaxing activities immediately before the bedtime enhances the quality of sleep. Try a warm bath, massage, light stretching, or listening to smoothing music. If all else fails, have something to do with when you can't sleep instead of lying awake with the racing thoughts. Read or journal. These activities will get your mind redirected and ready for sleep. There is also commemorated as National Science Day in India. On February 28th, each year marks a special celebration for Indians. It's the anniversary of the day Indian physicist Sir C.V. Raman made a significant scientific discovery. Today, National Science Day showcases the importance of science in everyday life and gives regular people an opportunity to see how scientific innovation can improve lives and encourage societal development. Many scientific centers and institutions hold debates, scientific competitions, lectures, TV shows, and even public speeches to celebrate this day. If you are passionate about science and many scientific centers and institutions hold debates, scientific competitions, lectures, TV shows, and even public speeches to celebrate this day. If you are passionate about science and will be pursuing a science degree, then there are a lot of options. Chandrasekhara Venkatraman, more commonly known as C.V. Raman, was a gifted child. He finished school very early, completing his secondary education at 11 and his higher secondary education at 13. Later, receiving his bachelor's degree at 16, while he studied physics, passing with honors, he took up accounting as a safe choice, only quitting when he was finally offered a teaching position at a college in Calcutta in India in 1970. 4 years later, on a trip to Europe, Raman first noticed the striking blue color of icebergs and the Mediterranean Sea. He couldn't figure out how this color appeared and set out to disprove the prevailing theory of time, which alleged that sunlight scattered upon entering Earth's atmosphere causes different colors to appear. Raman began conducting experiments by himself, later assigning research responsibilities to his student K.S. Krishnan. They discovered that when light passes through a transparent material, some light emerges scattering in different directions. These results, published in 1928, took the scientific community by storm, so much so that Raman fully expected to be awarded the Nobel Prize in the same year. He was overlooked that year, the following year. However, Raman's confidence in his discovery did not waver, and he was so sure of himself that he booked two tickets, one for himself and one for his wife, on a steamship to Stockholm in July, when the announcement of the Nobel Prize would be in November. He won the Nobel Prize in Physics that year, drawing attention to his work and Indian scientific community. So learn more about C.V. Raman, influential scientific pioneer whose work has inspired generations of scientists. Read his scientific papers, watch movies about his life, or check out how his accomplishments influence the global science community. Honor the underlying theme of this day, celebrate science and exploration in all its forms, discover new theories and you never knew before, perform your own scientific experiments, and watch scientific greats talk about their love for this branch of learning. Raman made history as the first non-white person, the first Asian, and the first Indian to win the Nobel for his work. The Royal Society of London elected Raman as a fellow in 1924, an honor given to a few. He resigned for reasons unknown, becoming the very first Indian fellow to do so. His work on the Raman effect saw him get knighted by the British government in India. His official title was Sir Chandrasekhara Venkataraman. He pioneered Indian research. He was the main contributor to the most research institutions built in India during his active years, including Indian Journal of Physics and Indian Academy of Science. He opposed the then Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru's policies on scientific research so much that he smashed his Bharat Ratna medallion, which is the highest civilian award given to Indians, given to him by Nehru. He stayed true to science. So we love science as it brings order to a chaotic world. It gives us answers to questions we didn't know we had and a constant journey of amazing discovery. We all are for highlighting efforts people make towards science in the interest of more exploration and invention in this field. So this day honors them, and National Science Day provides regular people with an opportunity to develop an interest in science by understanding how this branch of learning can solve everyday problems. This in turn increases the interest in science and scientific activities. Today is also commemorated as National Time Refund Day in US. This day comes after every 4 years during the leap year in an occasion where you are given back 24 hours to celebrate and do as you please. This means the day can either be spent partying, doing chores, or lazing around. The bottom line is that you have to use the day to perform tasks that you otherwise find no time for. The next time to leap year arrives, we expect you to celebrate its occurrence in whichever way you please. Today is also commemorated as Skip the Straw Day in US. The fourth Friday in February, falling on February 28th this year, to a group of young activists in Whitehall, Michigan, in light of ongoing battle against global warming and plastic pollution. We'll take time this day to consider whether we really need that whimsical plastic tube in order to enjoy our favorite beverages. We can slurp more down by just going straight for the glass edge anyway. Now we have alternatives like bamboo straws and also steel and other metal straws which can be used again and again without pollution. Today is also commemorated as US Snowshoe Day in US, which is one of the most fun and obscure days we celebrate. It's all about a particular item of clothing or accessory, if you will be honored for its ingenuity in allowing people to transverse through the snow. Throw in an annual race using these efficient inventions, and you will have a fun event that thousands of people flock to yearly. Even though the shoe has a relatively rich history, US Snowshoe Day is still pretty new. Today is also commemorated as National Virgin Lipstick Day in US. Then came cruelty-free makeup products like vegan lipstick created for individuals living vegan lifestyle who choose to use products that don't harm animals or contain animal products. This special day is all about them and their lipstick. Any harmful use lawsuits makeup products also saw many changes from toxic substances used in blush like asbestos to blue like fluids used in some lipsticks. Thousands of cosmetics are made in various ways and serve many different purposes. Still, one massive advancement in the industry is the invention and introduction of vegan and cruelty free makeup products. Organizations like Cruelty Free International and their partners oversee the certification of corporations seeking cruelty free status. Companies that make beauty and household products without testing them on animals can apply for membership in the Leaping Bunny program, which allows them to add Cruelty Free International's Leaping Bunny logo to their products. This program also establishes global operational and sales standards. So with this, We shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form that has been raised in the form of polls. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. Take care. Good night.